In the previous episode of Mashley, Mash is a physically strong boy who lives in a society where magic determines one's social status. Unfortunately, Mash is unable to use magic, which makes him an outcast. Despite his grandfather Regro's advice to avoid the city, Mash ventures in and gets into trouble with the magic police. Regro rescues Mash, but they are soon discovered by the police. Mash engages in a battle with Brad and ultimately overpowers him. Brad proposes a deal. He won't snitch on them to the capital if Mash can become Divine Visionary and give him the wealth that comes with it. The Easton Magic Academy is a prestigious and historic institution that year after year generates best mages. The entrance exam is notoriously difficult, where less than 3% of the applicants are admitted. Only the supreme mages can enter. Reminder, Mash has no magic power. Some hotshot, Claude, oversees this year's applicants, taking notes of all the bigwigs of magical society that are present. Honestly, too many to recite. Everyone is getting ready. Obviously, for a prestigious academy, you have to. Just as he is thinking that to himself, he hears a bunch of clanging. Yeah, it's Mash with his usual routine. It's an entrance exam for a magic school. Why is he pumping iron in the middle of the field? Everyone is asking that. Even doing the invisible chair while reading a fitness book. Claude is perplexed. It's unbelievable, thinking that Mash isn't even trying to pass the bar. Meanwhile, Brad and the grandfather couldn't wait for the results and are inconspicuously standing behind him. Brad is sure his plan will work, even giving Mash a fake scar, indistinguishable from the real one. Mash appears unfazed by the pressure of the exam, even though he knows that failing could result in him and Regro being hunted down for the rest of their lives. Claude announces the start of the exam with a dramatic entrance, appearing in a burst of green flames to showcase his theatrics and introduce himself. Despite his youthful appearance, he has already mastered countless advanced spells, earning him a reputation as a true hotshot. Claude basks in the praise, but his moment is short-lived when Mash notes how hot it must have been to emerge from the flames, and Claude promptly places him on his first-to-fluke list. Claude tells them to take their seats, but there are no seats. He just wanted to show off more and create them with his earth magic. He's prepared for everything. Again, everyone wows at this, but realistically he could have taken them to a classroom from the beginning. Claude doesn't let Mash's words bother him much, believing that there is no way a slacker like him will pass. They finally begin the test, and upon checking the paper, see that the questions are squirming around. Claude has enchanted the paper, making it necessary to dispel the magic to line up the questions in order to pass the written exam. Brad isn't sure why he thought this would work. Mash kindly asks for the symbols to stop moving, but to no avail. Frustrated, he breaks the feather pen. He asks again, which proves successful. Surprisingly, Mash is first to finish. Lifting boulders with magic? A fingernail will do. Walking on water? A breeze. One after another, Mash somehow found ways to pass the tests. Claude, on the other hand, becomes increasingly irritated by Mash's apparent lack of effort. In an attempt to challenge him, Claude devises a complicated maze with multiple traps as the next test. The students are given 30 minutes to solve it and reach the end to pass the test. Mash feels like this will be another easy task. A girl named Lemon approaches him and uses her usual I am weak charm, and also something about efficiency to tag along with him. Mash maintains his stoic attitude towards her all the way. Through the imps, stoic, hand-like somethings, stoic, tripping on a rock, stoic, falling in a hole, stoic. He isn't sure that this is efficient to be paired with her. Suddenly they hear screams and Mash wants to investigate. Lemon uses Levius cuffs and obviously cuffs Mash. She was deceiving him from the very start. What a surprise. She needs to keep him away from the goal. Human strength can't break, and he's already free, shocking her a little as he dashes away. She wants to stop him, but is approached by some Egyptian deity that has a riddle for her. 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs at night. What is that creature? He disarms Lemon immediately, so she can't use magic, demanding an answer to his riddle. But she is panicking so much she can't think straight. The deity is about to strike her down and she contemplates screaming for help, but remembers her deceiving the mushroom head. It must be her punishment. Right before he strikes her, Mash smashes him down. Mash returns to save her, driven by his desire to prevent her from experiencing the same fate as him. His selfless act earns him charm points. Despite Claude's efforts to sabotage Mash, he is surprised when they make it to the end of the maze just in time, breaking multiple 1-meter-thick walls. Even the headmaster takes note of Mash's abilities. As the accusations of cheating grow louder, the crowd demands that Mash leave. He's ready to give up, as everyone sees no point in completing a maze if you don't get lost. However, Lemon comes to his defense. Despite Claude's threats, she confesses that she intentionally impeded Mash's progress, and that Claude had promised to pass her if she succeeded. Also something about Mash proposing to her, but it's all a misconception on her part. He just offered her a piggyback ride. Claude admits that it's in his right to fail those who he doesn't deem worthy, and Lemon is one of those people. Her parents are poor, and passing the exam is a way for her to earn money for her family, but Claude uses that against her. He's adamant on failing them both, swishing and swooshing his wand. If they want to challenge his decision, they are challenging him directly. Big words, but Mash doesn't care. He just breaks the wand. The unexpected turn of events leaves everyone stunned, with even Brad struggling to believe what just happened. Claude is persistent in his accusations, but the headmaster intervenes, announcing that he will be overseeing the final stage of the exam. The first applicant to be summoned is Mash, who enters a room full of esteemed mages. The headmaster is curious about Mash's reason for choosing their academy, to which he responds that he wishes to live peacefully with his family. The headmaster notes that Mash is the type to act on impulse, as seen by his actions during the exam. However, the headmaster questions whether Mash has considered that there may be opponents stronger than him, or situations where his actions may not be effective. To illustrate his point, the headmaster asks what Mash would do if he were to face an overwhelmingly powerful opponent, such as the headmaster himself. The atmosphere in the room is tense as the ancient spell is cast, overwhelming even the other mages present. It's a powerful incantation that transfers the soul of the target's most beloved person into a fragile-looking doll. Mash tries to smash the knife, but begins to bleed. The headmaster's strength is far superior to his own. Mash realizes that he needs to change his approach, and makes it an endurance contest, hoping to outlast the headmaster since the spell must also be draining him. Mash persists, and proves his worth by protecting someone weaker than himself. The headmaster acknowledges his strength and intentions, explaining that he wanted to test Mash's character. In the end, Mash passes with flying colors, and the room lights up with applause. The headmaster officially welcomes Mash to the prestigious Easton Magic Academy. Despite facing many challenges, Mash has succeeded in passing the exam. His first lesson at the academy is the most basic spell, the lock-opening spell, Optiars, and it's open. Mash does the incantation and also succeeds, maybe not in a magical way, as was intended though. He explains he's not the best with magic and has a hard path ahead. Mash has nerves of steel. Even his classmates start to notice Mash is bad news. The I am definitely the side character doesn't want to have any association with Mash, but just as he finds his room, the door is missing. Mash is back with his usual antics. His name is Finn, his new roommate. Mash also introduces himself, sounding normal, until he starts to introduce his muscles. Finn is a continuing student, and the academy pairs new students with one to help out. Mash wonders how to become a divine visionary. You have to collect gold coins, tests, coursework, extracurriculars, school life. They are evaluated on everything, like in Classroom of the Elite. Based on that, you're given a coin of gold, silver, or bronze. This is brutal. As a thanks for the info, Mash offers him some cream puffs. Classic Mash. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this.